Hi everyone, I hope you are doing fine. So, in this video, I'll be explaining the most important thing in Vastu, that is the elements, how many elements are present, and what are their vibrations, how to use them in a practical manner. Okay, so first of all, understand that there are five different elements that are available. Okay, so the five elements are nothing but the water, air, fire, you have the earth element and the space element. Okay, so these are the five important elements that rules the entire Vastu. Okay, so before you understand Vastu, you need to know the various characteristics and vibrations of these five elements. So let us deep dive into it. Okay, so I'll just switch off my webcam. Let us see. Okay, so it's like the five elements, it forms a cycle. Okay, what do we actually mean by cycle? That is, water element gives rise to air element gives rise to fire gives rise to earth gives rise to space, and again from space we get the water. It's like from space we get the rain, so it's water element. The water element, what happens, it maybe it like evaporates, or it goes into the roots of the trees, so it represents or it creates the air element. Okay, from air element, like normally the air element is represented in nature through trees. Okay, the trees and plants. So you will understand it afterwards. So right now just know that the trees and plants are a very big significator of the air element. And what happens is, they actually create when there is some kind of let's say clashes among the trees. So fire element, the forest fires. Okay, you just remember it like this. So the fire is getting created from the air. Okay, after that, when something is set on fire, let's say a forest is set on fire, what happens? So it gives rise to ashes, right? So it goes into the earth element. So earth element is created as a result of the fire. So again from earth, it gets into the space element through evaporation. So you can just remember it like this. Okay, so these are the various characteristics when it comes to the five different elements which occurs, because you see, you have to understand how these um, particular elements actually impact our life. Okay, because see, we all use these five elements in our day to day life, right? So their impact, everything you see is among these five elements. Whatever you do, like maybe you are let's say you are drinking any kind of liquid, whatever liquid is present in your body, whatever liquid is present outside your body is water element, right? So you have to know its impact. Air element, anything which is like which we breathe, oxygen, right? Carbon dioxide is present in the air. So all kinds of gaseous thing which is present is governed by the air element, right? Then the heat energy, the energy which gets generated, maybe anger, maybe like when you cook food, right? So what happens, there is a release of fire energy, right? So how do you relate it? So fire energy is like the angerness which you have in your mind. So that is ruled by the fire energy. How much energy do you have to complete a work? How much energy do we have to like execute a certain task? That is ruled by the fire element. Okay, for example, let's say water energy actually rules the emotional part of our body. right? So whatever emotions we feel, without water element we will not be able to feel a thing. Okay. Similarly with the fire element, it's the ignition that we have. We wake up in the morning, then we start doing things. That is the fire element in action. Okay. The earth element is actually used for stabilization. Okay. So how much stable we are financially, how much stable we are maybe in our day-to-day life, maybe our career, maybe our health, how much stable we are, that is ruled by the earth element. And space element, you have like the manifestation kind of things. Maybe you are spiritual, maybe you go to god, or maybe you try to manifest something, maybe you think of something, maybe you want something. So any kind of desire, any kind of things which you want to get in life, that kind of thinking, it comes from the space element. Like let's say meditation, for example. When you meditate, you connect with the space energies, right? So any kinds of healing energies, that is basically the space element in action. Okay. We go to a particular temple. There what we do, we pray, right? We try to connect to the space energies. So this is how you need to relate it practically in day-to-day life, right? So now let us see the exact characteristics and how it is related to vastu, right? How it impacts us. So you see, the water element, you need to understand the characteristics, the features, because it will just write it down somewhere. You need to have it when you actually start predicting things. Okay. Or maybe you need these whenever you want to find some imbalances, you want to relate some problems in your house. Okay. So remember that water element has the color of blue and black. Okay. So it rules four different directions. We'll talk about the directions in the next video, but right now just understand it rules the four directions: north of northwest, north of northeast, and northeast. These four directions are ruled by the water element. Just write it down. Aluminium is the metal which is ruled by the water element. Okay. Any kind of things which is made up of aluminium, that is related to water element. That's it. Okay. Just write it down. And anything wavy, okay, any object. So this will come in handy when you have to find out balances or imbalances in a particular house. Okay. So any kind of wavy object, wavy thing, wavy picture, that represents water. Because see, water, you can think of the waves in the water, ocean, right? That is wavy. So wavy kind of thing is related to water element. Okay. Black and blue, you can simply understand it like this. So the water element, the water bodies have the color of black and blue. Okay. Likewise, you can remember it, just write it down. Similarly, for the air element, you have it as green and brown. Just remember the trees. Okay. I said just a while back. So just remember about the trees: green color leaves and brown color stems, right? So green and brown are the colors of the air element, that is ruled by the air element. East of northeast, east, and east of southeast, these three directions are ruled by the air element. Okay. Rectangular kind of objects, anything which is rectangular, is ruled by the air element. Okay. And the metal which is represented by air element is steel. Okay. So any object which is of steel is related to the air element. So you might ask why we are actually talking about all these things. Okay, there is no logic, nothing. Why we are actually talking about these things? Okay, you will understand this in maybe after 2-3 videos. Okay, you will. These are basically the building blocks which you need. These are kind of like the sun rises in the east. That is the truth. Okay, we breathe oxygen. That is truth, right? Similarly, these are the things which are found to be very, very true. It is confirmed. Okay. So now you need to relate. When you will relate it, then you will understand that it works fine. It works exactly in a logical way. Okay, so just remember it for now. Just like we remember that 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. If you ask me why 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, there is no certain reasoning, right? Maybe 1 plus 2, so 2 objects plus 1 objects becomes 3 objects, but why 3? Who actually came up with the 3? It could have been something called as maybe phi, for example. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so just these are the basic building blocks which you need to understand while you start doing Vastu. Okay, so just write it down. Similarly, for fire element, it is red in color. Okay, anything red that is represented by the fire element. And the directions is southeast, south of southeast, and south. The triangular, any kind of triangular object is represented by the fire element, and copper is a metal which is of the fire element. Okay, just write it down. Similarly, earth element has is yellow in color. Okay, anything which is yellow is basically represented by the earth element. Then we have the southwest and south of southwest directions which are ruled by the earth element. We have any object which is squarish is represented by the earth element, and the metal of the earth element is brass. Okay, similarly for space element, white color or gray color. Okay, you can remember it with the sky. So white color, gray color, that is represented by space. West of southwest, west of northwest, and northwest are ruled by the space element. So any kind of circular object is represented by the space, and iron is the element which is actually connected to your space element. Okay, you will find many connections. These are simply dots that we are plotting on a paper. When we connect them, you will understand why these things actually work. Okay, so I hope you have written all the vibrations, all the energies and characteristics of the various 5 elements. And in the next video, we'll talk about the directional energies. Okay, how Vastu is so precise that it can actually come down to 22.5 degree divisions in order to predict things. Okay, so now you just write it down and just keep it in mind. Okay, we'll need it in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.